For months and months, people have been asking me to make some sort of skill guide or move guide, or asking me just in general, hey Bobby, what are the best moves in the game for this level or for that level? And for the longest time, I have had to tell people I don't know. Because genuinely, the moves have been bugged for so long, and not necessarily bugged, but just the values of damage that they're at have not made sense at all for so long that it genuinely just deterred me from wanting to make this video because I wanted to wait until they actually made sense. I'll go over one example of why they don't make sense, and there's a couple in this video, but anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, last night I went live at late ass o'clock and I tested every Saiyan Saga move, and I now know which Saiyan Saga moves are the ones you should grind for in your playthrough of the game. Now, this will be a series because if I did all of the sagas at one time, I would probably want to quit YouTube forever. So, we are going to go through this slowly. So, apologies. This is for the newbies. And these moves should help you through Namek as well, hopefully. But obviously until you get the Namek moves, until I do the Namek video, which should be soon. I do want to get these videos out for you guys because so many people have asked me, and you guys know me. You know, salt to the earth over here. I like to help people. So, let's go ahead and get into it. So first, I want to get the rules out of the way. So what is a Saiyan Saga move? What is a newbie move in my eyes? So, I defined a Saiyan Saga move as a move that you can get at level 99 or lower. A move you can get before level 100. Now, the reason I don't include level 100 is because obviously then you can go to Namek and continue your story. So, any move that you can get before level 99, or 99 and before, is a Saiyan Saga move to me. So, any of the mentors, any of the shop moves that you can unlock before level 100. And I do want to clarify, I am not counting Game Pass moves, although I do want to clarify, there are a bunch of Game Pass moves that you can have that genuinely will just, you'll have the moves at level 1. And so, like, perhaps they would count as better, but I'm not counting Game Pass moves in this list. Maybe I'll do a special episode where I do go over all the Game Pass moves and tell you at what saga they kind of scale to. There are some I could go over, like Neo Wolfing Fist. As you guys can see, it costs 1,000 stamina, which is typically the Namek scaling. So, maybe it'll scale the Namek moves, and maybe when I'm doing the Namek video, I will test that, but this is the Earth video, and there aren't really any Game Pass moves that take 500 stamina as far as I'm aware. I mean, there is like Excellent Full Course, which you could say maybe is supposed to scale the Earth, but the damage tells me otherwise. So, I don't know, man. Game Passes get tricky. Most players don't have the Game Pass moves, so we're going to ignore those for now. So, to start, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the beams. So, I went through every type of move. I went through beams, blasts, I went through rushes, I went through counters, and I went through evasives, and I went through ultimates to tell you all what are the best moves in the game. Period. I did everything. So, I'm going to start with beams, because I think beams are, you know, a new player wants to use beams for sure, right? So, start with beams. Let's go ahead with Energy Wave. So, Energy Wave, surprisingly, is better than Kamehameha, for some reason. It's a better move. I don't know what to tell you. It's just a better move. Like, I tested beams via fully charging them. And I'll show you guys the damage. Now, again, the damage is going to differ for everybody. I have 358 key damage, but I'm level 800. And I'm in base form, of course. So, yeah, that was Energy Wave. So, Energy Wave is a move that you just spawn in with, and it's quite good. You just throw it out there, you know, it's pretty fast. It's going to do some reliable damage. It can actually carry you. But there are some moves that are better. So, next, these next 5 moves are all doing the same damage. So it just kind of depends what you want to do, and they're all mentor moves. So Break Cannon, if I fully charge it here, you guys are going to see it takes quite a while to charge up fully. But if I shoot it out, there's over 9,000 damage, funny enough. Double Sunday, if I start charging it up, I don't know if that's faster or not than Break Cannon, but that also is doing the same amount of damage along with Special Beam Cannon. Now again, all these moves are taking the same amount of ki, and they're doing the same amount of damage. Literally the same amount. A lot of the moves I've noticed, at least in Saiyan Saga so far, have the same kind of damage scaling as each other, but there are of course some outliers. But for the beams, there's not really an outlier. I mean, there is, but it's a special case, so as you guys see, all those moves are, of course, pretty equal to each other. So Gallic Gun you get from the Vegeta mentor, Masenko you get from the Kid Gohan mentor, Special Beam Cannon you get from the Piccolo mentor, Double Sunday you get from the Raditz mentor, and again, Break Cannon you get from the Nappa mentor. There is one more move I want to shout out, and that is one-handed Kamehameha. Now you get this from the Dr. Wheelo raid, and you actually can't fully charge this beam if I show you guys right here. It just kind of stops before you get fully, and I think that prevents it from doing max damage. As you guys can see, it did like 5,400 damage there. But if I just shoot it out again, it does the same damage as if you didn't even charge it at all. So I think one-handed deserves a shout out for that reason alone, because you can just throw this out, and as a quick beam, it's doing more damage than any of these other beams are. So one-handed is a shout out if you just want to throw a beam out there fast, you know? Don't want to charge it up. Now, you will suffer the consequences. You will be doing way less damage. As you guys can see, if I charge up Break Cannon one more time, it's going to do a bunch of damage. 9,000 damage. Meanwhile, one-handed, I just throw that out there, it's doing 5,000. So, obviously, there's a caveat to it, but you do get to shoot out way faster. I will give one more shout out to moves like Dodon Ray. They're extremely fast, and they do weak damage, but maybe that's something you want. I can show you guys right now real quick. Dodon Ray, you just throw this out, it's fast, it's going to do no damage, but maybe you can get a stun off on someone, who knows, right? Maybe it'll help you, but I don't really too recommend it, it's just kind of your choice. So with that, I'm going to move on to blasts. Alright everybody, so there are a couple more blasts in the list than there are beams, so I'm going to go over it. Now I will say, none of these blasts are rivaling the damage that the beams are doing, but, you know, I still wanted to throw these out there, and there is one blast that I do recommend everybody gets. It's a very good move, but I will go ahead and go forward with these blasts now. So, first I want to shout out Calamity Blaster. This is one of my favorite blasts in the game. I love the animation. I wish when you're actually holding it, it looked cooler, but when you throw it out, it looks pretty cool. So that's doing 4554 for me. Darkness Twin Star is the same. It's going to be the exact same. Now, one thing that blasts typically do better than beams is your charging animation is typically faster. You typically are charging them up way faster than you are for a beam. Now, again, if I just throw it out there, you know, it's doing less damage. But again, these are faster options than beams, right? So that would be the benefit of using them. Now, of course, Destructo Disc is in the same tier. All these moves are doing the same damage. So these are all basically reskins of each other. So just pick whichever one you want, right? And then Murder Grenade is the last one. Now, to get these moves, Calamity Blaster is from the Turles Mentor. Darkness Twin Star is from the Lord Slug Mentor. Destructo Disc is from the Krillin Mentor. Mascendon is from the Kid Gohan Mentor. Murder Grenade is from the Shop. I actually did not write down what level you got it at, so one second. Alright, so you can buy Murder Grenade at level 55. Shout out to Spoy, which is the guy who makes the DBOG wiki. Me and him have been working together last couple of days on some things, so that's pretty sweet, trying to help out the wiki guy, and the wiki guy trying to help out me, so that's nice. He works, so I would not want to have that job, man. Look good over a wiki. I mean, I kind of do that job in a different way, right? But I think this way is more fun. Anyway. So yeah, those are the first blasts I want to shout out. Now, these blasts are actually better. So I'm going to go over Tri-Beam. We're going to grab Bomber DX. We're going to grab Kill Driver. And we are going to grab... I'm going to save the last one for the end because I think it is the best one. So I'm kind of going in order here, waves. So Tri-Beam. For some reason, it's not a beam. It is a blast. That's doing more damage, as you guys can see. Bomber DX, again, is going to do more damage. And then Kill Driver. And by more damage, I mean more than the last beams I showed you guys. So Kill Driver goes out... Wait, what? I swear... Oh, no, excuse me. No, Kill Driver does not do as much as these. Sorry. Yeah. Kill Driver is better than the last wave, but not as good as Tri-Beam or Bomber DX. Wanted to point that out, sorry. I don't know why I thought it was in the same, you know, same damage range. But yeah, it's still a good blast. So Kill Driver you get from Turles, Tri-Beam you get from Tien, and Bomber DX you get from Nappa. Now the best blast is actually the Psychic Rock Throw. This move is amazing. Number one, it's doing the most damage out of all the blasts at 5204. Or no, sorry, it's not doing the most damage, but it's in the highest tier of damage, so it's tied with Tri-Beam and Bomber DX. And as you guys saw, it stuns. And that is just really valuable. Like, I mean, if this was an NPC, yeah, as you can see, NPCs that have defense bars, you can stamina break them after a stun. And, like, that just helps a lot. And not to mention, it does decent damage. So, yeah, Psychic Rock Throw is level 40 in the shop. You can buy that. So, yeah, pretty good move. I do suggest you guys get that one. For, you know, key builds or even melee builds, you can open with Psychic Rock Throw and then stun them. Anyway, let's move on to rushes. So quickly before rushes, I wanted to give a shout out to Ki Cannon Strike. This is the best Ki in my experience. And you can get it at, let's see, it was level... Ki Cannon Strike was level 30 in the shop. Now, I do want to point out, it does have 1,000 stamina drain and 45-second cooldown. This was a move that was terrorizing PvP for a long time, and it probably still is, just a little less now because of the cooldown. But I think in PvE you can gain value from it because simply what it is if you hold the button down, very important, you have to hold it down to activate it. It's just kind of like one of those invisible shockwaves you see Dragon Ball characters using that can just knock people back. Now, of course, this guy is like sitting in the ground, so he's not going to knock back too much, but... And I obviously I can't do it again, but if I equip Ki Cannon Kick, which is a similar move... Never mind. Ki Eyes? There we go. Ki Eyes is somewhere move. I didn't see it. It does a knockback from very far away. So that's a shout out, I guess. They do terrible damage, so maybe don't use them. But it just depends. Like they're cool moves, I think, and you know deserve to at least be mentioned. All right, so melee moves are actually really hard to rank because of one very simple thing, and that's critical hits. Critical hits can only happen on melee moves, and it really makes it hard to test because you have to test over and over until you get like kind of like no crits or low amount of crits or something. So I'm gonna go over all these moves. I did test all the melee moves enough to kind of get an idea of crit or no crit, how good these moves are doing. So I'm gonna go over them and tell you kind of why these moves are good, and you can decipher which ones you want to use. So first off is Meteor Break, which you get at Turles. Now Meteor Break is a really good combo. Oh, lag. Alright, nice. Meteor Break is a really good combo move. It's like a rush chase move. Seriously? Game? Are we okay? I don't know what's happening with Meteor Break. It was working last night. I don't know what's happening. What? This is crazy. Let me relog, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so I'm back in the test world, and Meteor Break is working again, so let's go ahead and show this. Now, again, melee moves are hard to rank because of crits and whatnot. I have Meteor Break here for the combo potential that it has, the fact that it's a chase rush move. It does a lot of damage, and overall, I think it's just a cool move. It's a good move, and so that's why it's here. It's doing quite a bit of damage. Now, High Speed Rush is I believe this is a default starter move. And again, Meteor Break you get from Turles. And High Speed Rush is just... Thanks, phone. Appreciate you ruining my recording. Absolutely. Go away. High Speed Rush is absolutely just a good starting move. It does a bunch of hits very quickly, and if you get a bunch of crits on those hits, which keep in mind, every hit you do has a chance to crit, so the more hits that a melee move is doing, the more chances to crit it has, and because High Speed Rush is so fast, you're not really sacrificing lots of hits for DPS. So, I think it's a very good starting move. Same with High Power Rush. It's kind of just the same idea as High Speed Rush. If you darn rocks would go away. I do think High Speed Rush is a little better, but if you want to go with High Power Rush, it's level 1. So yeah, I do think High Speed Rush is slightly better, but maybe High Power Rush is doing more damage. I think that's what I have written down here, so like if we look at it, 4774 with 1 crit. Now it does less hits too. Yeah, so it's doing more damage, but High Speed Rush can do more crits, of course, so it just depends what you want to do. Next up is Crane Style Machine Gun. So this move you're going to be getting from TN. I already had it equipped, I'm a silly Billy. So this move, again, is just a fast move, does lots of hits, does good damage. So yeah, that's a move that you get from TN, Mentor. Wolfang Fist is a move you get from the Yamcha Mentor. Now, Wolfang Fist does a bunch of hits, like a lot of hits. The animation is long, and you can get a bunch of crits with it. So I think it's very worth mentioning. It's also a good move for perfecting your forms, funnily enough. But yeah, Wolfang Fist, maybe if you don't like the long animation, and again, I do believe you have to hold it down. I always hold it down, let's test. It is a longer animation, so maybe you don't love that about the move. No, you don't have to hold it down, okay. Interesting. So yeah, Wolfang Fist, I think it's a good move. If you want to rock it, go for it. And then Tiger Jackhammer Fist, which is just kind of like Wolfang Fist again. I think it's a very good move as well. Is it better than Wolfang Fist? Let's see. How much damage is this doing on average? 19 or 5300 3 crits. Oh yeah, Tiger Jackhammer Fist is probably just a better version. Arm Crash is next. I want to go over. So Arm Crash, I'll equip Break Storm, and I will equip Meteor Combination. Oh. Meteor Combination probably has to be one of the most used moves in the game, by the way, because it was so good for such a long time that people still think it's really, like, insanely meta good. And I think it's good for Saiyan Saga level, but it's not good, like, for Buu Saga level, heck no. So Arm Crash is an unblockable, like, one-hit little combo extender, which does just a ton of damage. That was a crit, of course, which isn't likely, but if you guys see, like, I go for these combo strings here, I can, like, maybe hit them with one of these, and then Arm Crash into it, like, you know, stuff like that, right? Like, Arm Crash is just a good, nice little, good move to have. And then Break Storm. So let's go ahead and try Break Storm. So that is a Nappa move as well. Arm Crash is also a Nappa move, by the way. Break Storm is just like a quick little combo move. It does quite a bit of damage for the low level of hits it does. And then, of course, Meteor Combination as well. Meteor Combination, you know, just a solid move. Rush move. Lots of damage, lots of hits, good combo. As you guys see, the guy kind of gets stunned there for a second, so it's a good combo move. Yeah, that's pretty much it for rushes. So there's one more move I want to mention for rushes, which I literally just thought about while recording this video, and that's Cross-Arm Dive. I didn't have it in a list. It's because you get it from Devilman and Otherworld. Now, Otherworld, it kind of, like, evolves with you as you level up, but I'm pretty sure you get Devilman pretty early on into the game. Like, before you go to Namek, you can fight the Devilman raid. And Cross-Arm Dive is actually just a really good move. It's just a little 2 combo extender, but it does more damage than Arm Crash does. I mean, obviously that was a crit, but you guys saw the damage earlier. Let me try to do it real quick. Why are you critting? Why? You're a one-hit move, man. You should not be critting this often. 3672 versus Arm Crash's 4197. So yeah, Cross-Arm Dive is very, very good. Alright, so I don't really have a way to showcase these next moves, but you're kind of going to have to just trust me, I guess? I don't know. The only 2 good Saiyan Saga counters, now, I did test every single counter for the Saiyan Saga, and they all did, like, almost the exact same damage. The only 2 that were outliers were Gallic Burst and Reverse Mabuku Senko. Now, I don't know if it's because they go off of key damage, but I am a melee character, through and through. I have 2,000 melee, I have 300 key damage. These counters are doing way more on my slot than the melee counters are. So, the Gallic Burst did more than Reverse Mabuku Senko. So, Gallic Burst is a Vegeta mentor move, and Reverse is a Piccolo mentor move. So, Gallic Burst is definitely like an insanely strong counter. Even at a high level, I think it's still considered a good counter. So yeah, Gallic Burst is definitely the best counter in the Saiyan Saga. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Wild Sense. This is the starting counter. This counter can actually counter Ki Blasts. So if this dummy were to shoot a blast at me, like not a volley, right? But if it were to shoot a beam or a blast at me, I could Wild Sense and I would teleport behind him and hit him. And so I do want to shout it out for that reason. I think that could be like a very good thing for new players to learn how to do. So yeah, that's it for counters. All the other counters kind of suck. So next I'm going to talk about evasives. Now, my favorite evasive in the game is this one, After Image. This takes 1.5 defense bars, and it's just a very, very good move. Being able to disappear for a couple seconds and then come back. I believe you can also just straight up use it, and then like instantly, yeah, you can instantly just use a move after. And it, like, you can be getting hit, pop this counter, and or pop this evasive, and then pop your counter, and you'll be hitting. You'll, like, almost always hit it, really, if someone's comboing you. So it's a very strong evasive, in my opinion. I want to give a shout out to Backflip. So After Image is a starter evasive. I don't know what level you can buy it, because you can buy it from the shop, too. And that's for players who started playing after Image became a default evasive. But if you're a new player that you started recently, and you made your character recently, you're going to have After Image by default. Backflip is the next one I want to shout out, just because it's a pretty fast evasive, so I think that could have some value. That's level 15. Solar Flare is an evasive you get from TN, and what Solar Flare does is it does take 2.5 defense bars, which is a lot, but it stuns the person you're using it on, so maybe that's a good secondary evasive to have, because you can actually have two. Explosive Wave and Dual Masenko are the two evasives you're going to want to use if you want to do damage with your evasives. So these are both taking 2 defense bars. I prefer evasives that, like After Image, that take less defense bars and reposition me more so than do damage. But there are some scenarios where you might want to do it. Now, they do terrible damage, I want to keep in mind. And they do the same amount of damage, so it's kind of just your choice. Dual Masenko you get in the shop. Backflip is level 15. Solar Flare is from TN. Dual Masenko is level 45, and Explosive Wave, I believe, is the starter evasive. So if I just show that off real quick, yep. That is that. And then one last one. Super Guard you can buy at level 1. This just gives you invincibility frames for quite a long time. Maybe not like too long, really. But I mean, it's not terrible, right? Like, it's not a terrible evasive. But again, I would say After Image is probably just your best bet. So yeah, that is evasives. Now let's move on to ultimates. So ultimates are very, very funny in the Saiyan Saga. They actually all just kind of suck. They're not good. So I have Nappa Cannon and Spirit Tri-Beam as the 2 best key ultimates, and I'll go over the melee one in a second, because I think the melee one is actually the one that might have some value to it. But if I go ahead and charge up a fully charged Nappa Cannon here, which you can't even charge it, so it's just an instant throw. That's doing 7,400. Do you guys remember what else was doing about 700? This move. If you fully charge Energy Wave, it's doing comparable damage to Nappa Cannon, which is the best consistent beam ultimate in the Saiyan Saga. Now, I do have Spirit Tri-Beam as well, so Spirit Tri-Beam is actually going to do a lot more damage, 9,200 damage. But it actually damages you. You can't see up here because I'm in training mode. But I'll go into the I'll show a clip of me using Spirit Tri-Beam and how much HP it actually takes from you. But it takes a lot of HP from you. If I go here, Spirit Tri-Beam, as you can see, it says drains health here. So I'll showcase that as well, just so you guys know exactly what you're getting into. So TN's Spirit Tri-Beam, you get it from TN, of course. And then Nappa Cannon is obviously from Kid Gohan. No, it's from Nappa. Come on, lock in. So yeah, Nappa Cannon if you don't want to lose HP. Spirit Tri-Beam if you want to sacrifice some HP for damage. But again, Spirit Tri-Beam's doing what? A quick 9k when I can charge up Gallic Gun. I can charge up Gallic Gun and just do, like, comparable damage, if not more. Yeah. Nice. Alright. So yeah, the only ultimate in the Saiyan Saga I think is actually worth it is Kaioken Finish. So let's go ahead and see how much damage this does. So we got a crit right off the bat, which kind of like gives that an artificial boost in numbers. So I'm going to try to just use it a couple of times so we can see kind of like what it's going to really look like consistently. But even here, hitting 14k, that is more damage than these rushes are doing. So Kaioken finish is an actual worthy ultimate that I would use. It's the only ultimate I would use in the Saiyan saga. All the rest of them are terrible. So I think that does conclude this video. I do want to give one quick pointer to players if you're watching this video. You can get Kaioken in Otherworld from doing King Kai's thing. I have a video tutorial on it from years ago. But if you want to try to unlock Kaioken as quickly as you can, I recommend it. I think it's a good idea. Try to do it somewhere in the canon timeline, so maybe before you fight Nappa, you go get Kaioken. That way you can ensure that you're high enough level to go to Otherworld and learn it and blah blah blah. I don't actually know the level requirement, so just do it by canon, I guess. I don't know. And then one more thing is, as a lower level, until you get your form, fight with your aura on. Because your aura on actually gives you a slight damage buff. You see if I do a Ki Blast, I'm doing 265. Aura off, I'm doing 241. So it's a very slight damage buff, but you do get it, right? So yeah. And then the last tip I want to give new players is make use of your race ability. Whatever your race ability is, abuse that shit. That is what makes your character actually good. If you're a Saiyan, before a boss fight, maybe go to red health, or I don't know, like, just abuse your red health as much as you can. Same with Hybrid Saiyans. Abuse red health as much as you can. If you're Frieza, spam the heck out of your blasts. Now you know which blasts are good. You might have noticed, by the way, I didn't mention any volleys at all. It's because all these volleys suck. They don't do, like, any good damage. They barely ever hit the opponent you're trying to hit, despite that being kind of the entire point of them. And they all have really long cooldowns now. So, yeah, these volleys are terrible. For PvP, different story, but for going through the story, these volleys are terrible, man. So, you know what, that's it for this video. Good luck with your grinding. I hope that I was able to help you guys. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. It did end up being quite long, but of course I had to explain it all very well, so let me know what you guys think. By the way, Kaioken finish you get from Goku. Forgot to mention it. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.